Oh my gosh, I think I made a big mistake. I hired the wrong lawyer. Let's talk a little bit about substitution of attorneys. Very important thing we deal with at the Bianchi Law Group all the time. Are you having that experience where you go to a law firm and they're very happily take your check or pay their fee and hear from them? Sadly to me, because I take the sales calls at the Bianchi Law Group with my office manager, Robert, um, every week, at least 30 to 50% of the calls we get are people who are looking to substitute attorneys. And I actually try to rehabilitate the relationship that the client has with the attorney by asking various questions. Unfortunately, many times the client is getting it right. Lawyers not getting back to them with phone calls. Lawyers not responding to their emails. Shockingly, lawyers not going over the police reports and discovery, as we call it, the information that the prosecutors provide during the course of a criminal case. Not going over an investigator strategy about how they're going to approach the case. Not going over the sentencing code to explain to them what the charges carry. Giving them no information. I'm not making it up. Unfortunately, this is why I'm doing this video. Because if you're looking at this, you're probably somebody that's dealing with it. And like I said, we deal with it every week, week in and week out. You don't know probably what it's like to have a lawyer, and there's many, many capable lawyers out there, not just our lawyers at the Bianchi local, many, many dedicated, hardworking lawyers. But when people are on Google and they're Googling their way into, a law firm, which many people do with the Bianchi Law Group, you've got to be critical and how you're choosing that law. Are they great marketers? I mean, that could be. That's why you see them on the internet. That doesn't necessarily mean that follows through with the business practices and the production. So be careful. Actually, we have a 9 tips on how to hire a criminal defense lawyer. Maybe put it in the link in description, below. And I give this to many people who can't afford our services to say, you need to know these things, and this will give you an idea, clarity as to who are good lawyers and the skill set that makes a good trial lawyer, a good criminal defense lawyer. So you check that out below. But the bottom line is, one of the reasons when we had an initial consultation video that you'll see here as well, how were you treated during the initial consultation? Did your lawyer go through the steps of the criminal justice process, explain the sentencing code, explain the plea bargaining process, go over the facts of your case, explain the degree of the crime that you're facing, describe investigative techniques that defense lawyers use, talk to you about plea bargains, talk to you about trials, explain to you the ins and outs of a case like yours? And if that didn't happen, that's a problem. But you don't know it. I get it. But that should be extensively discussed. Did the lawyer do as much to make sure that you'd be a good fit for the law firm as you're doing, trying to figure out if they're a good fit for you as your lawyer, if that makes sense? It's a two-way street here. Both sides have to have reasonable expectations, and that comes through communication. It is unacceptable that, and I dealt with this when I was the county prosecutor. I used to hear this all the time. My lawyer never told me about this. My lawyer never showed me discovery. And all he did was then all of a sudden say, you have to take the plea, and that they weren't going to go to trial with the case. Now, unfortunately, this is what's going on there. And if it is, and you catch it, you need to get out of that as soon as possible. Hence, we get asked all the time, can I get rid of my lawyer? And the answer is, like, look, there are many times I sit there and say, it seems to me the complaint you have with the lawyer is not the lawyers. You're just not understanding the system, or it hasn't been explained to you, but they're doing what is typical in a case like this. But if they're not, yes, you can substitute. It's called substitution of attorney. It is a very simple process whereby you retain a new law firm. The new law firm simply reaches out to the old law firm, signs a document. They have to substitute. They have to allow for substitution of attorney. In a criminal matter, you have a constitutional right to an attorney of your choosing, and you can change and switch your attorney pretty much throughout most of the case, even towards the end, up to trial, so long as it's not going to delay the trial. So it's such an important thing. The law recognizes your right to feel comfortable with the attorney of your choosing, that you can easily substitute the attorney. There is nothing wrong with you doing it. This is your life. The collateral consequences and the consequences of a criminal charge are serious. And the last thing you want to have happen, like we say to people all the time, if you work hard at representing an individual, you do the best job you can, whatever the consequences are, you can deal with it. You just don't want to look in that rearview mirror of your life and wish that had I had a different lawyer, the result may have been better. So choosing your lawyer is next to remaining silent, the most important thing you can do. So can you substitute an attorney? You certainly can. And if you're even asking the question, you probably should. Thanks for listening to the video. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. Our team of former prosecutors here at the Bianchi Law Group always willing to help you out if you have any questions. Give us a